Tell us about the beginning of Palantir. Whose idea was it?
It was Peter's idea.
Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel. And Peter's like, hey, I've got this great idea. We're going to take the back end that we used at PayPal to stop cyber criminals, and we're going to turn it into a product, and we're going to sell it to the intelligence services because obviously they could use the best software in the world. And do you want to co-found this?
So originally your clients were the U.S. government and the CIA.
Our first clients, so we got this investment from Incutel, which has always been controversial. It's a really small investment. Now they're no longer at the DPO. They exited, but it's always been very, if you Google Palantir, you'll see. And if it's a left-wing newspaper, by the way, I'm progressive, and I think the left is wrong to hate on us sometimes because without Palantir, the far right would be in a position of dominance because Palantir single-handedly, with the police forces, stopped major terror attacks. But in any case, you'll read Palantir, CIA-driven data. In German, it's data octopus, which is my favorite. It's like as if we're hovering, and none of which is true. But
where did the name Palantir come from?
In the Lord of the Rings, there's a globe which allows the forces of good to see what's going on and organize, and that's a Palantir. Okay. And the Palantir, plural is Palantiri.
Hey, so when you started the company, you got some software was sold to the Pentagon and/or CIA.
It was sold. Yeah, the Incutel gave us 3 pilots. One with the FBI, one with the agency, and one with a more classified part of the DoD. But interestingly, it was that part of the DoD that really got us off the ground because they were struggling with finding out where terrorists were putting improvised explosives, and we figured that out in our product.
The war in Ukraine is one that your company's been involved with. Can you briefly describe what was described in a Washington Post article recently about what you're doing to help the war in Ukraine?
Well, so the genesis was our product's very well known. We have a counter-intel product, which is called PG, which is very well known. We have a commercial product called Foundries, very well known. We have a product that is not well known called MetaConstellation, and that product allows you to use algorithms on large data sets to hone in on adversaries over, say, for example, a whole country. And the integration of data the infusion of data from satellite, telephones, other sources, classified sources, and then the disambiguation of that so people only see what they are allowed to see on the battlefield is something that took us 15 years to build in various forms. The Ukrainians, without going into all details, but some of it is they of course went to the most important services in the world and said, okay, what should we use? And I'm very proud to hear they had one answer, Palantir. And then we were asked if we were willing to supply our product philanthropically, basically, for free. And I was very in favor of this because our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior. The product then allowed them, according to this article, to do targeting with a factor of 20 better. Which basically, of course, the primary heroes here are the actual heroes of the Ukraine. And they're also, I have to say, one of the caveats is they're very, very technical. The people that have used our product there are world-class engineers, but they were also able to train normal engineers. And in their hands, they were able to change the targeting ratio, which, according to David Ignatius, played a big role in changing the course of the war.
Okay, so can the U.S. government get this same kind of software? Does it have it? Can you say that?
The U.S. government has our software.
Okay.
And uses it very aggressively